Yeah, Dr. Indu, can you hear me? I think I'm not getting any
Yes.
voice.
Yes, I can hear you.
No, I think the connectivity is some issue. No, yes,
I
Asutosh.
think
Now, sir, we
I
can
think
hear
there's some
you.
issue with your side. Okay.
So your voice is coming, sir. I, Asutosh Kumar Dubey, on the behalf of Elets Technomedia, we welcome all the delegates and panelists at 18th World Education Summit 2021. So today we are closing this summit, and this is the last session of this World Education Summit, Higher Education. And we have very good topic for the last session, and the topic is new trends in higher education in 2021. And we have a very eminent speaker from the India. So they are Dr. B. Sendilkumar, Dean and Director, Health Science, Vinayakamissions Research Foundation. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, Dr. Neha Patel, Director, Som-Lalit Education and Research Foundation, Ahmedabad. Welcome, ma'am.
thank you.
We have with us Professor Dr. Indu Rao, Director-ASC, Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT Vellore. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you.
Dr. Divya Nalla, Director, Nalla Malla Reddy Engineering College, Hyderabad. Welcome to the 18th World Education Summit, ma'am. And Dr. Prafulla Ranjan, Dean MBA, IMT Group of College, Greater Noida. Welcome to the 18th World Education Summit, sir. So now I request all the panelists give opening remarks on the topic, that is new trends in higher education in 2021. So let's start with Dr. B. Sendilkumar, Dean and Director, Health Science, Vinayakamissions Research Foundation.
Thank you. Thank you, Astos. Thanks for the great opportunity. Good evening to one and all present here. The challenges of 2020 reinforced the need of agility, transformation, and innovation. We can believe that 2021 will bring about the rise of the university of tomorrow. Institutions should be prepared to deliver high-quality, technology-infused learning experiences, as well as transcend geographic invitation and put the focus on student needs and demands. And I would like to give some few inputs, because since we are into health sciences stream. Vinayakamissions University is a health centric university. We started with, because since all the learning, it's like it's a practical oriented one, a kind of maybe the laboratory or in a clinical training, the students has to go for a clinical training. It's not kind of like the students can learn in artificial intelligence or virtual reality like that. We cannot do that, because the students should be like patient focused one. So during this COVID time, all the LC students are taken a very good part, and they have incorporated all the technologies into the treatment part in COVID. For an example, like what we did is like the students, we made students to learn in the simulation based one. Kind of, for an example, if the students would like to give any kind of infusions, they learn in the mannequin, and then from that the students will go to the patient side and they'll start at during giving a treatment like that. Like we started with the simulation based learning, and as well we started with the competency based learning. The two things we have started doing it in our university. Maybe like when the this talk goes, I can explain more about this competency based learning. Over to you.
Yeah. So again, now I would like to invite Dr. Neha Patel, Director, Som-Lalit Education and Research Foundation, Ahmedabad. Ma'am, what is your opening remarks on this topic?
First of all, thank you for having me over in your conference. First of all, I would like to say that a lot of innovation was happening in the world of education globally, but COVID has actually, kind of accelerated that whole movement, or COVID acted as a catalyst for a lot of things that we have been doing. So you already had your books, you already had online classes going on. It is, I think, in this stage that we're looking in, COVID actually made us understand whether this is possible, this is acceptable, and how is India going to work on this. So I think there's a lot of scope in terms of what we are seeing in the blended learning concept. That's going to be the future of tomorrow. And as a college, I think, like most of the colleges, we have tried our hands at online, at blended learning, and trying to, maximize the learning level for our students. What I would like to shed light on this is also this has brought out, what I would say is, when we talk about innovations, I think we should not forget our target audience, which is the student community. Because in our student community, there are some who are self-motivated, who have made the maximum of what has happened during COVID, and worked on their resume, while we have a few set of students who have been used to the old system where you force them into learning, and that's how they study. Now, I think what lies in front of us critical is that when you have such diverse target audiences or diverse set of students, as an institute, how are we going to, address these issues?
Thank you, ma'am. So now I would like to invite Professor Dr. Indu Rao, ma'am, Director-ASC, Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT Vellore. Ma'am, you are on mute, ma'am.
Thank
Yes.
every time that I take a part in your events, I find that you are bringing up a very contemporary topic. And 2021, what better year to talk about new trends, because this is a very historic moment where post-COVID or during COVID, everything, all processes in the education system have been fast-tracked. They're fast-tracked like never before. I will just share with you something that, I had started teaching hybrid and online classes in US in 2006, and last 15 years, that speed was not picking up. But in this 1 year, nobody was devoid of this experimenting with the online teaching. So it has really fast-tracked. This is the newest trend is that everything has gone digital. Digital means not just teaching. We have had, most of the institutions had admissions online. They had recruitment of faculty online. They had training programs of faculty online. Classes, evaluation, assessment, term and continuous, everything went online. And placements also went online. So I think the newest trend is digital technology has come into the campus, and it will have a long-lasting impact. For example, after we have tasted the benefits of online, and NEP also came during 2020. So we'll have to focus more on quality than quantity. We were focused on increasing the number of institutions, and quality was somehow hampered. So increase in more importance on quality will be one area that all of us have to, because everything is transparent now. Your parents are also looking at what you are teaching. Then student focus, as Neha madam also said, student focus is very, very important. It's not just that the teacher wants to say something and you can get done with any of the classes. Outcome-based education will be important. Then sharing of resources is one area that we have to, it's a new trend. For example, the same faculty from the home or from a digital platform can be teaching in different institutions, which will be a new trend, and it has not yet started in a big way, but it is going to be a future trend that I very strongly believe. There'll be more collaboration versus competition because of this sharing of resources, and people have realized that we all have to work together, and now physical distances are not a constraint anymore. Flexibility in curriculum and campus. If you see the new education policy, now we are allowing students to move after 2 years for engineering, from 2 years in one campus and then 2 years in another campus, or change the courses, or you can take a break and then rejoin. So that is surely going to be a new trend. We have also recently, I think just last week, we have heard that accreditation agencies are going to go very strong. So somebody who has a less than 2.5 NAAC score will be they may be asked to shut down our campuses. So I think there will be a very, very strong emphasis on quality. And if there was mushrooming of institutions just for the sake of doing some business or just increasing the quantity of student registrations, I think that will change. So the new trend seems to be very, very positive. And let us hope that it will be, if the NEP is implemented in the right spirit and in collaboration with all the people, I think it will have a very positive impact on the future of education.
Nice, great input, ma'am. So now it's time for I would like to invite Dr. Divya Nalla, ma'am, Dr. Nalla Malla Reddy Engineering College, Hyderabad. Ma'am, you are on mute.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you to the organizers for inviting me for this program. In this scenario of the current trends in higher education, we have all gone online for the past 1 year, and we have been experimenting a lot. Every educational institution and everyone associated with education have been experimenting in teaching online, learning online, and all that. But there are certain things which most of the things all the speakers have covered a variety of things what we actually all of us have experienced. Some certain things which we think that need to be we need to talk about, or like everyone is now online, all the students are online, they're sharing things online, they're learning online. But there are certain things which they need to keep in mind, that what are the safety measures, digital safety, what is digital safety, how exactly their behavior should be when they're online. I mean, it's not exactly only the behavior, it is the way they communicate with others when they're online. See, these things are, I mean, really they are missing out. I think the colleges or institutions can take some measures in just giving a little briefing about, I mean, what could be the problems if they are not careful enough. Some like cyber security kind of a thing, basic measures. Then again, another thing is, yes, IT awareness. It was a challenge earlier, but now everyone has, even the seniors, juniors, everyone, they have got very much familiar with all the IT tools and necessary softwares to use for their online classes. Most of them have got very much familiar. Then the faculty, when they teach online, the way they teach offline and the way they teach online, the methods they follow, they definitely need to be, I mean, they have to orient their teaching towards online teaching. I mean, when they're teaching online or in a virtual mode, this, none of the faculty, most of them were not trained, but they just had to jump into the field and they had to fight over it, right? When the COVID started, so everyone, they just started. There has been a tremendous amount of research done in education technologies. What kind of teaching would help the students learn better? As Dr. Indu was saying about quality. Yes, when we talk about quality, it is the quality of teaching which actually influences the quality of the outcome which is coming out, the quality of the student who is coming out. So to improve the quality of teaching and to make the student participate in the class and to really learn better, there have been a lot of research done in the education sector. That research has to be got into the classroom. This was the case even without even before, but now it is much more essential. Now, as the speakers were saying, yes, the platform is much wider. I mean, when we talk, when we tell a class, teach something, there are many people watching. I mean, there are more than the students. And also, the students, when they are not in the classroom, it is very difficult to for the teacher to understand whether the student is really participating in the class or not. These things, to address these issues, the teachers have to be trained in using these modes of education. I mean, see, we used to talk about student-centric teaching, and we used to talk about active learning and all. These methods in the classroom, we could do all of them. But when it came to online, it was a little different. The situation was a little different. Each teacher started experimenting, because when we just talk online, it's like one of my teachers was saying, it's like talking to a wall. So it feels like talking to a wall. So this situation would be addressed when when we involve the students in the classes by active methods and all. Someone was asking about national education policy, whether it is going to influence the education, can it get to the international standards? See, international standards are quality standards. I mean, the international standard doesn't mean something very different. Everyone aims at quality. The best quality one is the standard. So to get to better quality, we need to improve our teaching standards and also our curriculum. Our curriculum revision, it does play a very major role when we are making the students really aligned, aligning them to the industry. This curriculum and also the implementation part, the teachers, they really play a very important part in getting quality graduates out of the institutions. And I think NEP is definitely going to help us in doing that, because there are so many reforms planned in that which actually would help the institutions to get a better quality out of the students. And also there's something about in the online teaching about assessments. When we talk about assessments, yes, it definitely was an issue in online assessments were an issue, but there are many methods which the teachers can use for online assessments. Yes, even the theory exams, everything can be held online. There are some institutions who have experimented that and they have been successful. It's not very difficult to assess the students online, but the only thing is getting the students to listen to you during an online session is what is very important, which has to be, we need to make sure that they listen to you and they concentrate and they participate in the class. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, nice name. So, Prafulla sir, waiting. So, I would like to invite then Prafulla Ranjan sir, Dean MBA IMT Group of Colleges, Greater Noida. Sir, we need your views on this topic.
First of all, I am Dr. Prafulla Ranjan, not Rajan.
Oh, sorry, sir.
In fact,
sorry,
this has
it's my
happened.
mistake.
No issue. In fact, this has happened with my first job. I joined Syndicate Bank in 1990, probationary officer, and my letter was Prafulla Rajan. So this is not the first time. Often it happens. Of course, no issues. Okay, so today's topic really last year, all of a sudden, we taken unaware, and almost 1 month nobody knew what to do. Everybody was just thinking in education sector how to start. So somebody started Zoom, some new platform we started. In our institution, we bought team and we had a long training for all the staff members. It was very tough for them to learn. So what has happened that all of a sudden across the world there was a big issue. Now KPMG has done a study, and it was done by Professor Stephen Parker, who was the Vice Chancellor and CEO of University of Canberra, and he says that higher education across the world, all the colleges, all the universities are now at crossroads. Now they don't know what to do. They need a big transformation. Now there are 3 questions to be addressed. Number 1, whether they should transform immediately. Second, do they should wait and see and then decide later, or they should not do anything and take a risk. So on this line, he did the study, and the research says it is the time to transform. Without transforming, nobody will survive, and slowly it will be weeded out. So now what are the issues now? The issues is most of the colleges and universities, lack infrastructure. As of now, we never thought that we had to go online overnight, and within a short span of time, we have to start going all the way online. So infrastructure slowly everybody is developing. Number one. Number two, the faculty itself. Very few of us had the knack of teaching online. See, teaching online has got some knack. You have to have some different kind of teaching method. You have to keep on asking questions. You have to keep on putting some quiz, so that the learners are there. Otherwise, they will just log in and nobody will listen to you. So this was the big challenge. So this training was required. Means unlearning the previous methods and learning new methods. So this was a big challenge, which was slowly we are overcoming that. Now we talked about a new education policy. There they are having National Education Technology Forum. There we can exchange. It's a very initiative. There we can exchange our new ideas and how to do technology innovations. The most important question is acceptance by the mass. In fact, most of the students they are still not accepting the online classes because they had the face to face. So they had that one, and they had the way they were learning. It has changed now. So that acceptance has to come from them. Then only things will improve. Again, going down the line, we are talking about online classes, but in my opinion, we need to have both. In our institution, alternate day, we are doing online and offline classes also. Whosoever wants. In fact, in UP, almost all the institution they have opened their classes, even the school colleges. So alternate day we are having online and yeah, offline. So that blend has to come, and online and offline both will be there in future. Now the issue of content. See, content development is most important. We need to do some innovative things, innovative way of teaching, and the most important now is the certification courses. See, most important is the employability of our student, which was a big question. The question was the gap between the industry and academia. I'll tell you, I had a very good thing. In my previous assignment, I was the uh, director of BFSI in Symbiosis University, Indore. So they have started a new skill university in Indore, and it is a BFSI, Banking, Financial Services, and Insurance. So for making the curriculum, we had called the industry leaders from Reliance, from HDFC Bank, from Sher Khan. So many people. We had almost 10, 15 rounds. And as per the industry, we made the curriculum which suits them for MBA and BBA. And after that, there was a bank branch, a replica of a bank branch made in the campus itself, just replica of a bank branch. So our pedagogy was we used to teach theory, and same thing was done practically in the bank. Means they will come to the bank branch, and there will be role plays. Forecast. See, forecast how to start the day, how to receive the cash. Somebody will act as a customer. And I got printed some fake notes. That was a big deal. Get notes from the market. And that note, the whole process was enacted. So for everything, for all banking processes, they were given hands-on training. So the effect of that was the placement was very easy for all this because they were ready to work from the first day. So down the line in future, that will be most important. We need to have interaction with the most of the industries, and we need to have interaction with the and we have to make the curriculum which is suiting them, and right from the first, because most of the institution the training part, they want ready to work yeah, uh, employing from the first day. So which we did in Symbiosis, and which is the all of the day. I think down the line this will happen, and more focus will be on the industry academia collaboration and making them. So that's it from me.
Yeah, correct, sir.
Yes.
So now my next question is for our two panelists, uh, Sendilkumar and for Neha Patel, ma'am. So the question is how adopting artificial intelligence for learning can help us. So please give answer in 3 minutes, ma'am, and B Senthil, sir. So let's start with B Senthil, sir. Sir, you are on mute, sir. Can you please?
Okay.
Yes, now audible.
Yeah. Now, artificial intelligence related to health sciences, like now, because we are finding very difficult to get the cadavers for the basic sciences students, because generally we use the students will go for use the cadaver for the dissection. Like no, they have to dissect the arteries and veins and everything. Like, but nowadays, like no, because getting a cadaver is very it's very challenging nowadays. So what we are doing is like using the by using artificial intelligence, it's a kind of 3D version, so the students can learn, they can the cam, they can use the cam and they can visualize the arteries and veins and everything like through the virtual reality mode, and the students have started learning that rather than doing the dissection in the cadaver. They started doing that in basic sciences classes, as well as in the clinical side. The students, as I said in the earlier, like simulation based learning, like the model OT has been incorporated, so the students can learn whatever that they want to learn it in the hands-on experience. They learn it in the model OT also using this artificial intelligence. So the two things start, in even health sector they started doing it right now.
Thank you, sir. Neha, ma'am, should I repeat the question once again? Ma'am, you are on mute.
Yeah. So,
Ma'am, again you are.
Education, the higher education. A grievance that. No, I have unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now audible, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Can you hear?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So now the biggest in the way we would look at artificial intelligence in education, I think the biggest advantage that I see is the biggest headache that most of us have in academics is grading. And with artificial intelligence, grading is getting a little easier for us. That's the first thing. And because of that, we're able to, focus our energies on other teaching aspect of it. The second thing is where I see artificial intelligence actually helping us is like in a class, let's say you have 50 or 60 or 70 odd students, depending on the subject or the elective they've taken. The class dynamics are different. The level of interest is different. The level of knowledge is very different. And artificial intelligence is helping us because you have quizzes which are given, there are concepts which are taught, so they are self-paced in a way. So the faculty does the teaching part of it, but when the student takes a quiz, he's able to cross a certain concept or certain number of answers, he's not able to move to the next one. Now, what is that doing is it's actually saving the faculty time in teaching, where they can take the knowledge base ahead. At the same time, the student is, doing self-paced knowledge. So this combination is working brilliantly in terms of education. The third thing that we are also doing is we've tried to work with a startup in terms of simulation. We teach them marketing management in the first year, but a lot of students, when they come from undergraduate, and more so now, students are coming without any work experience. So for them to understand, what a price rise will do, what a production operation management problem will take up, a simulation has been created for these students where their teams are created and they actually play against each other. That is creating a different avatar or a virtual world for them, where they're actually what they are learning, they are implementing, and they're able to understand their concepts in a better way. So artificial intelligence, that's a very positive aspect that we are seeing in my institute, or what I see. The negative part I would just like to iterate on artificial intelligence is that uh, we need to, we have to understand that we cannot have artificial intelligence take over what the faculties are doing, because the relationship that the faculty has with students is something which is, it's not debatable, and that no machine or no artificial intelligence can take over. That relationship has to be there, and everything else has to be a supplement to it.
Great, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So now move to next question, and my next question is for our left three speakers, Indu Rao, ma'am, Divya, Nalla, ma'am, and Prafulla Rajan, sir. I'm giving you 3 minutes for each, and my question is: online learning and virtual reality is more prevalent. How will it affect the higher education? So let's start with Dr. Indu Rao, ma'am.
So your question is that online and virtual mode of imparting education has become more prevalent. Yeah, very true. Post-COVID, the moment we started teaching, if we had not adopted this online system of teaching, this entire year would have gone wasted. So we are very grateful that, with the expertise of our technology people, in India, the technology is really, really strong, and all the educational institutions have embraced with the open arms this technology, and we were able to do it. Now, there are pros and cons of both of these things, and we did not know the benefits a lot before we actually embraced it. So I think there are advantages of online and virtual learning. There are disadvantages. Disadvantages are in the terms of like sitting in front of the computer for long hours. For children, they are not able to mix with their peer group and other things. But this was expected. This we all knew that this will be the negatives, which is why we were not going into online. But there are many advantages also. For example, because of this online teaching, the time that because nowadays distances are too much, the resources are scarce. You don't have qualified faculty all over the country. So with the help of online and virtual mode of learning, you can share the resources which are of high quality with people in the rural areas, remote areas. We can have conferences, we can learn from people around the world, we can do research. New knowledge creation is the need of the hour. For a long time in our country, we have been teaching books which were written in the West. I think we have to develop our own content, and that means we need research. For research, we need collaborations. So across different states, across different universities, we can do collaborations in terms of research as well as content development through online and virtual modes of sharing and learning. Similarly, students in the rural areas who never had access to this, also online, online education has reduced the cost. If we see, there is so much investment by government on creating these channels for learning. So online and virtual, for those people who are deprived of quality education, this is a very big boon, I feel.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to request Divya, Nalla, ma'am.
Yeah. About online teaching and virtual reality. Yes, as the speakers were saying, the teachers they need to prepare material. Those virtual reality, using virtual reality or some softwares to develop some simulations and some models and all. And apart from that, to do all those, the teachers need to learn a lot of technology. Apart from that, another thing is that the teacher, there is a lot of material available, which uh, the access to that material is there. We have access to the material, but they should be able to get the right material and use it. Now the students, teachers, everyone, they have access to such a huge uh, material online, which is a biggest advantage. There are so many courses. I can see some some people who provide the online courses for the students. These things should be taken as an advantage by the students as well as the teachers. Some of the things which are available online, which they can learn online, they could probably given as an online course, which is as a self-learning course for the students, and then the teacher should come in where they really need that have to interact with the students and correct them when they are wrong. I mean, suppose they're doing a project, so when the student presents an idea, it is the teacher who has to evaluate that idea and give the inputs to the students. I mean, there are some things where certain areas where the teachers cannot be replaced. Teachers are an essential. They are very much essential for the learning of the student. So there are certain places where there are so many online resources available. So we should probably be segregating these things, and we should also have provision in our universities and our institutions to enable the students to do some self-learning of certain things and all. And I mean, we should be able to segregate these two things: the self-learning part, which could be done online, and at the same time, when they're doing these. I mean, when they do some certain online courses and all, definitely the the assessments, everything are being done by those assessment component is also being taken care of, and they give the certificates. I mean, we should have this some provision within the our curricular structures and all, where these two are differentiated so that the teacher can concentrate more on what they really have to in areas where they really have to interact with the students. Yes, definitely there is going to be a lot of change now. Even, I mean, in the past 1.5 1 year, we could see a lot of difference. More, I mean, students started thinking. I mean, there are many institutions have started opening up their online courses, online degrees and all, and it is going to affect the higher education scenario. Definitely it's going to affect, but the institutions can make a difference where the contact between the teacher and the student plays a major role. I mean, that is where the institute should concentrate on, and this is which is very much essential for the students' all-round development. It's not only when the technical courses, also all the technical courses cannot be learned online. They have to go practice, as the speakers were saying, role plays, and practice them in that particular scenario. That experience is what is missing in the online mode. Yes, there definitely will be a blended mode of operations in the future to come, where there will be a combination of certain things which can be done off online and which cannot be done online. And like teaching language skills, there have been some applications, apps and all, which are coming in to teach language. But when it comes to correcting theory papers, exam papers, for example, to evaluate that online, it does require some artificial intelligence research to come in, to be implemented to do that. So there are huge areas of research which have cropped up, huge opportunities for the students and the teachers to learn, and there have to be institutes have to be flexible enough to adapt all these changes. This is what I think. Thank you. Yeah, that's all from me, Mr. Abhishek. I think you are muted.
Now come to Prafulla, sir. Sir, what is your view on this, like online learning and virtual reality?
Yeah, I agree with all the speakers that online there's a plethora of opportunity has come. So there are so many courses from different institutions. In fact, our top institution, IIM also, they have given so many online courses, like 1 year PG diploma in leadership and all. So many online courses are coming. So opportunities are there. But having said that, there is a issue for mass. Once we talk about, we are a highly populated country. So once we talk about the masses, we talk about the mass at large at rural places. I'll give you some data. See, internet access in India is still around 50%. 50% of our population does not have internet access. So do we cater for only 50% of our population? Of course, things are happening, things are improving, but as of now, our 50% population is not having. Whereas China, only 41% is still there at 41% does not have internet. Pakistan is 65%. Ethiopia is the worst country, 81% does not have the internet. Coming back, see, we started teaching online from last year, and most of our students they were attending through smartphones, laptops, and all. Very few had, and you will be surprised to know that in India we have 36.2% smartphones of all the phones they have. So very low percentage. Whereas US has 87%, China has 59%. So only saying that we'll go online and we'll teach online will not suffice. There is a big challenge of this connectivity and going through that. Now, there is a big debate of the learning. We are talking about skill now. So there is a big debate going on between practical and the skill. So I had been on various forums talking on that. So practical is normally we define a thing which is done under observation. You are observing the person who is doing the work, and he is doing the work, the job under your guidance, your observation. It is normally called practical. But we need to develop skill in the students so that they can go and start working in the industry, the organization right from the first day, which I talked just now in my previous one. So that skill is he should do the work on his own. He learns the theory, he does the practical, then he is given a task and he does that work on his own, completes that task given to him. So the need of the hour, which the government is also talking about, the skill. NSDC has got 41 courses where one can pick up and start. The whole course is given, all process is given. So the call of the hour is we have to impart skill, think how to skill the people so that they get employment. So employment is a big issue. Nowadays, say getting degrees are very easy. In fact, there are so many colleges across the country which had come. See, I am in management. I have seen so many colleges getting closed in previous year because they could not get placement. Placement was a big issue. So the skill has to be there. For that, there are some certification courses in each category. So my call here in online only distributing degree will not work. We have to encourage our students to do some certification course, and wherever they want to go, they should acquire a skill so that they can get the job immediately. So that blend, which I said in my first speech, only theory will not do, some scaling has to be done. So you have to do online and offline, both the classes has to continue in uh, in future. Then only things will improve and the placement will be more, and our student at large will be benefit. So this is how it is from my.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Nice input, sir. So again, my next question is for all the panelists. And my question is, what can be done to close the skills gap and the rise of MOOCs, like EdTech platforms? So let's start with B. Sendilkumar, sir.
Sorry, I couldn't get your question. please.
Sir, what can be done to close the skills gap and the rise of MOOCs,
Okay.
massive open online courses?
Yes, actually, uh, during this pandemic, you can the UGC has come up with some policy. You can do the curriculum revision by incorporating the online courses. For an example, MOOC platform by Swayam. They introduce government is having a Swayam platform. Swayam Prabha TV they have, and Swayam online courses where what we did as Vinayakamissions Research Foundation, incorporating all this Swayam online courses into our curriculum, and we have started giving a credit to the students. And one subject in each year or each semester, the students have to do the Swayam online course, and it has been incorporated in our curriculum itself. And the students has to submit their certificate from Swayam. Not only in Swayam, we have encouraged the students to, as the Coursera for campus is one of the sponsors here. So you won't believe nearly 1,450 students did the Coursera for campus in our health sciences program. And in that, you won't believe all this kind of virtual reality and artificial intelligence, everything is in the health sciences program the students did. And apart from that, the skill gaps about you're talking about, and what we did in our university is there are three type of as Dr. Indu madam said, outcome based learning. Based on that, we started doing first years they will be doing a theory based learning, and second year they'll be doing the simulation based learning, and third year they'll be doing the hands on training, and fourth year they'll be doing the clinical training. This is the four things generally we do in our university, where we can close the gap by making a curriculum into competency based one. In the sense, the first year when the students from first year to second year, when the students goes from first year to second year, the students should complete this kind of competencies before entering the simulation lab. And after simulation lab, the students, when you go to the hands-on training, the student has to do this kind of, we are nearly each and every course we have nearly 115 to 130 competencies. So the checklist will be there at the end of the course. If the students the competency should be out of 140, the students should have at least minimum of 130. Then only the students will get graduation. Otherwise, again he has to go for all kind of skills again. Then he has to compete, and he has to we'll make the students to be a competent one when he comes out of the organization. That is what we are doing it in our place.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would like to invite Neha Patel, ma'am. Ma'am, please give your inputs on this topic.
Okay, to talk about the skill-based thing, I think we have changed a lot at our institute. Previously, as I mentioned earlier, 7 years ago, most of the students who used to come to our college used to have some form of work experience. So after a bachelor's, they would work for a few years, a few months, and then they would be coming. This has been the students finish their undergraduate and straight come for an MBA program. When we realize something like that, the ultimate thing is they're not able to understand even the foundation course, like an organizational behavior course. They were never worked in an organization to understand. We teach them sales management. They've never been out on the field. So what we have incorporated in our, which I think most business schools would have done, is that every course has a practical aspect. It is just not case-based learning, but they have to work with institutes. They're given actual where they have to go on the field. So if you're working over the organizational behavior, you will have to do a project with a live organization, understand the problems, and see how they are those problems. What are the solutions for it? When we do something like a sales management program, then these students have to spend, time with sales executives, understand the problems, and they could select their own industries. That is given to them, but the uh, assessment is done by the faculty in charge. So doing these kind of practical uh, application assignments in each subject has actually helped us, at least at our institute, to get our placements up there. So that is what I think has really worked on the skill part of it. How we have used not MOOC, but we have used Coursera and other courses is like, for instance, at the beginning of the third semester, if a student has realized that he wants to make a career in core finance, or someone wants to make a career in hardcore sales, at the institute, we have we have only basic courses which you're offering. We sit down with each and every student and tell them that these are the specialized courses which you need to have to be able to get your placement in so and so companies. And that is how we are using these courses. So a combination of both of them is actually helping our students get placed in better companies. The second thing, what is also coming out is the newer courses, because sometimes, as someone, the panelists mentioned, that our courses, the syllabus, to make it contemporary, is at a slightly slower pace and how at the industry which is moving. So in those cases, also what we are doing is newer courses which are business analytics or artificial learning in marketing. We are asking our students to take up those courses with Coursera or Udemy or whatever works out to be cheaper. Only those students who are interested in that, and then we are helping them to get placed. So I think this combination is what is working for our institute to overcome the problem about development of skill, at the same time using not only MOOC but other short-term courses.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now I would like to request Dr. Indu Rao, ma'am. So please give your input on this. Ma'am, please unmute your mic.
Sorry. This question is exactly where we stand today. The theory part and the skill development part. So the theory part can be done very well on the MOOCs, and all the e-learning resources that are available, they have been recorded. There are video forms like somebody mentioned here on the panel. There are, if you see, there is a lot of material on the portals of government as well. They have started these Atal FDP programs. I think recently we got an email. I think they have trained lakhs of people on the online portal, things like that. So whatever is available as a theory part can be delivered by MOOC. But what about the skills? I think that is the question. What are the skills that can be acquired only through practical experience? My take on this is that this is exactly where we need to transform. As Professor Prafulla was saying, that some research said this is the time we need to transform. We cannot wait. We cannot not do it. I think the teachers' classes will become irrelevant, where something can be watched or learned by a student only by watching a video or a e-learning e-resource. Now, teachers, but if the skill development is what our universities and colleges will be responsible for, then who is going to do that? Are our faculty trained to do that? That is the question here. If we want to do skill development centers inside our universities, do we have enough faculty who themselves know the practical aspect of the courses that we want to teach? So we need to invest heavily on the faculty development. We need to transform completely our exams. Our faculty are busy in taking exams, checking papers for theoretical parts. I think we have to leave a lot to the student. The student has to be motivated to learn something so that he or she can translate it into practical aspect, can translate it into skill which can be useful. The faculty's role has to be to show the importance of a particular subject, its relevance to practice, and what skill the student needs to develop in order to be relevant to the practice or the profession that he or she joins after he has completed the course or the degree or the certificate that our universities give. If we are only doing something that is just theory or what is available in the books, I think the generation of today, they are watching YouTube and all these different academies which have opened up on the as an e-learning resource. If we are sticking to that, if we continue to do that, we will really face a major problem. We'll have to almost close down unless and until our faculty learns not to stick to the theoretical lectures. They have to first themselves learn the skills which can be imparted to the students. Another important point. So one is faculty training. You have to invest a lot in order to make the universities and faculty competent enough to deliver this skill-based learning to the students. Because what MOOC is giving, that students will learn from the MOOC or from so many platforms where now it is freely available. In fact, many professors are freely uploading their lectures on the internet. Second point that is very important is that if this skill-based has to happen, then your recruitment policies have to change. We are not giving the people who know the industry and practice enough prominence in our education system. We are still hiring people who never went to the industries or who got a good marks or who got some research papers published which are not related to practice at all. If that continues, how will we get faculty who knows what is required for skill development? And if we don't change our recruitment policies, if we don't include people who know how to develop these skills into our education system as a mainstream, not just as a guest lecturer, you come and go. We have to give them positions of power, positions of decision making. This is the level of transformation we need to achieve if we have to bridge the gap between the skill development and this MOOCs, what MOOCs can offer. That is my take.
Thank you, ma'am. Nicely said, ma'am. So now I come to Dr. Divya Nalla, ma'am. Ma'am, what is your views on this topic?
Yeah. Yes. When there are MOOCs from which the students can learn, but actual skill development can happen only when they practice. So, as every speaker has stressed only on that, yes, it is essential for the student, for anyone, to practice to learn a skill. So that practice, it will be possible only if, see, in the institution, when they are going through some degree, all the courses, whatever they have been designed for the student to really learn that particular content, that those courses, if they are applied to some practice, that itself gives that skill to the student. So that skill is possible by making the teaching, orient the teaching towards project based learning or participative learning or learning by doing. This essence, the stress should be on doing. The more stress in technical education, especially, it should be on doing in the curriculum itself. So there should be more of project component incorporated into the thing, and also they should be trying to do projects which are live. I mean, like, they should go take some requirements and talk to a user and try to build something for the user using the technology what they've learned. And these are the things which will actually teach them the skill. Skills do not come just by attending some classes and listening to lectures and doing. I mean, so the labs, because engineering, because I'm concerned to engineering and technology, the laboratories, whatever they are to be, they are to learn in their curriculum, they have to be oriented towards practical applications. I mean, teachers should be able to map these experiments to the practical applications, and then the student should practice that as a project, and practice the experiments and then do a project in that particular lab. And it all depends on the kind of teaching which is done. So as the speakers were saying about training the teachers, yes, training the teachers is difficult now, and getting people experienced in the industry into teaching field is definitely very difficult. So it's not so easy to get people from the industry to get into teaching, but it is possible to train the teachers. The institutions, the administrations have to have that vision of having a quality education, and training the teachers. That should also not be in the same mode what we are discussing about, like the listening to some lectures and participating in some. I mean, it should also be an immersive one where they should be participative workshops for the faculty. It is only when they experience this kind of approach, it is only then they will be able to implement those approaches in their teaching. So our faculty trainings should also be oriented towards, in a different way. So definitely it would be, it is a big task, but if at all we are able to do such things, if at all we are able to train the teachers and get such teaching imparted to the students, that is the best thing which can happen, and skills development would automatically grow, and it would automatically be there. That's what I think. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. And I now I am inviting Prafulla sir. Sir, please unmute your mic, sir.
This is the same about skill you are talking about now.
Yes, yes. Sir, please, time, we already exceeding the time, so please, a quick response on this.
Okay. See, I'll be very brief. See, what we did now, see, role plays, case studies, those things are happening. Now, in the curriculum, what we have done, see, in MBA, 2 months, your internship is compulsory. Now, what we are doing here also, and in my previous organization also, last 6 months, we are trying to send them to the industry where they are interested in getting a job. So, in the fourth semester, last 6 months, they should be on the internship where they seek employment. And we should have tie-up with the industries where they need people. See, if our 10 students goes and out of 5, 6 get the employment, it is a good achievement for us. So they get the job training and they get internship also. So this way, the skill development in the students can be developed. Because see, after all, we want our students either to be entrepreneur or go to the industry and work. So if he wants to be an entrepreneur, okay, we have our incubation center. Most of the colleges, most of the university, they have started their incubation center, and it is the call of a day. You have to start, otherwise, you will not survive in the future. So almost everybody has started. We are doing a lot on a lot of work in that, and we are promoting they should come and become entrepreneurs. We are giving incentives also. The university and the institution, they are supporting from their fund to the budding entrepreneurs. Not talking about the skilling in the teachers. It's a really big challenge because see, the fraternity is not used to this online, the simulation, and there's so many things. New technology, new softwares, so that de-learning and relearning process is still happening. We are experimenting, and new contents are being developed, and day-wise it will increase. See, it is a slow and ongoing process. Overnight, it cannot be. This process will continue. I'll tell you a very small thing. When I joined, learning how you learn and how the schooling happens. When I joined Syndicate Bank, there was no training right. The first day, I was given a branch. So a check was given to me, and my branch manager said, "You post it." See, normally posting is writing on the ledger and the debiting it. I was a fresh graduate. I said, "Where's the post office?" So where do I go and check? This is the non-skilling, no. So skilling is required. So once you know what to do, right from the first day you can work. So this happens. So skilling is required both for students and for us also. Still, we are learning. Of course, we learned very hard way from manual to the digital world. We are slowly learning, and the age, the generation which we belong, at least I belong, 50 plus, 52, 53, we had seen totally manual to transforming to digital. Still, we are changing ourselves, learning day by day, and it will continue. And I think you have to have only attitude to learn. So that is most important. We have to inculcate attitude in the fraternity of teachers. Yes, change is the word. You have to accept change, then only you will survive. Otherwise, you'll be relegated out of the system. This is what it is. Yes.
Right, sir. Right, sir. So now we have some question at right side of the screen. It's Q&A section, sir. If any panelist would like to answer some questions, sir, so please.
You have to read out, actually. We can't see the questions.
Yeah, someone has written about cognitive learning.
Can I
right?
read? So I'm just at right side.
Yeah, in the chat box. Can I answer
Yeah,
the
in the
question
chat
of
box.
cognitive learning?
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Ashutosh, can I take the question on Ashutosh? I would just like to say that higher education, according to me, without cognitive learners is just not possible. At an undergrad level, we can still think about it, but the whole purpose of higher education or master's education has to have cognitive learning blended into it. And I think if we don't do it, so whether I'm a management person, so I don't know how it works for technical subjects, but in management, we cognitive is active learning. It is actually so what we are doing, or most management good institutes are doing is they are bringing your simulated outside world. They're sending the students outside. They're making them do internships. They're asking them to work with organizations. They're working on case study methodology. I think that's how we are actually working. So if you ask me, without or even in pure sciences, because I've done my bachelor's in pure sciences, most of us were taught even they were taught the application of where I would apply my maths knowledge or where would I apply my physics knowledge. And I think so that has evolved in India as well. With a lot of master's programs we see where they're actually now giving us application based. So according to me, uh, lot of things, the institute's vision and the faculty will have to look into cognitive learning. And I think all good institutes in this country are currently doing that, if you ask me.
Yes, yes. Thank you. So here we are going to close the session because we already exceeding time. But quick closing remarks I need from all of you for 30 seconds. So let's start with Sendilkumar sir. In 30 seconds, sir.
This is a wonderful opportunity for all of us, like to learn more about this higher education in the future, and the skill gaps actually, like this about the skills, like in education, health sector, like it has to be improved a lot actually. But technical side is fine, but we need to think about a lot about related to health sciences.
Dr. Neha Patel, ma'am, what is your closing remarks on this?
I think the biggest concern I have is we do a lot of talking in the conferences. I hope we are all taking back, or the audience is taking it back to their institutions, universities, and trying to apply all that we are talking about. It just and there's some associated with these conferences for all our side. That's what I would like to say.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr. Indu Rao, ma'am.
Yes, I think we are at a historical turning point for the education. Technology has come in a big way, and although we will resort again to the on-campus teaching and learning, but online and virtual learning and assessments and the including online in all the processes and functions of a university system will stay and will not go away completely. This is a major change for the new trends, and quality will be a very big focus. I think quality, skill development, all the points that you mentioned very correctly have to be looked into more seriously now, not just quantity.
Now, I would like to hear some closing remarks from Divya Nalla, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think as the others were also saying, the quality definitely needs to be improved as the new trend should be focus on quality, and that quality definitely is dependent on the kind of teaching learning environment which is there in an institution, and there should be participative learning of the students for every development in every aspect, cognitive and skill and everything. So there has to be participative learning, and the teachers have to ensure that teaching learning process has to ensure that. That's it.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Prafulla, sir, what is your closing remarks?
See how I see in coming future, technology will play a great role. There are a lot of new things, innovation in the teaching method. Number two, there will be a lot of industry academia collaboration because that is the call of a day. In fact, industry will also sponsor candidates for teaching and the vice versa. So that collaboration has to be there. It will be the call of the day. Then that credit-based education and the exit and the rejoining one. That one will be really a great feature because you can start read for 1 year, then come back again after. Those things will be really a big thing coming. And the foreign universities are coming to India in a big way. So that's a big for all of us in the panel to counter to them because the way the quality and the way they will attack on the Indian market as in the other sectors. So we have to be ready with the quality improvement and we should not give them space to capture the market. So our market share will certainly go down. See, it is now as a industry we look at. So that challenge we have to look at and be prepared to fight it. That is most important. De-learning and relearning and onslaught. This is how I see the future.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. So with this, we are ending this session of 18th World Education Summit 2021, and this was the last session of the summit. So before this, I would like to request my colleague Deepak. Can you please present a speaker memento to all the speakers? So this is for Dr. B. Sendilkumar, Dean and Director Health Science, Vinayakamissions Research Foundation. This is for you, sir. Thank you for coming. And this is for Dr. Divya Nalla, ma'am, Director Nalla Malla Reddy Engineering College, Hyderabad. Thank you for coming, ma'am. This is for Dr. Neha Patel, Director Som-Lalit Education and Research Foundation, Ahmedabad. Thank you, ma'am. This is for Dr. Prafulla Ranjan, Dean MBA, IMT Group of College, Greater Noida. Thank you, sir. And this is for Dr. Indu Rao, Director-ASC, Vellore Institute of Technology, VIT Vellore. So I again thank to all eminent panelists to join us at 18th World Education Summit 2021. So thank you, sir, ma'am, for joining the 18th World Education Summit.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Good day, all of you. Good day, all of you. This is innovation, no? Giving virtual
Yes,
certificate. This is also innovation.
exactly. Sorry for the.
We'll send a soft copy through email, sir.
Thank you.
Good innovation. Good innovation. We liked it, no? Good innovation. Okay. Good day. Good day, all of you.
Thank you. So now it's time for Expo visit. After this, we will have 18th World Education Award 2021.